Two. So welcome back. I think we got our tech issues worked out. So once again, welcome Bookkeepers on Fire. I'm Donna Reed with Debbie Kilsheimer, where we spotlight bookkeepers and experts whose businesses keep moving. You deserve to feel proud, confident, and seen, and we're honored to have Carolyn Passmore. It's just great to have her join us, and she stepped in at the last minute. So it's awesome too. So now, but first to Deb with a special announcement.
Great. Well, I'm so excited. Bookkeepers, as you know, are often and many times the unsung heroes of the business world. We're the ones keeping the engine running, but we do not get the recognition that we deserve. I know how vital we are to business's success, and the team at Bill knows that too. That's why they're hosting Bookkeeper Appreciation Week, March 30th through April 3rd, and it's dedicated to recognizing the real work we do and giving us tools we can actually use to free up time for more strategic work. So, mark your calendars for March 30th and get ready for 5 days of practical resources delivered straight to your inbox, plus live CPE eligible webinars. We'll cover what bookkeepers are navigating right now, advisory work, pricing, AI, along with proven strategies we're already using. Trust me, you're going to want to check this out. So register now at bill.com/bookkeepers on fire. I'm excited about that, Donna, aren't you?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so excited. And please use the link in the YouTube description so they know you came from us.
Yeah.
We want them to know you're listening.
Great.
So
Well, the
please use
star
that
here
link.
today is
All
our
right.
friend Caroline. And Caroline, we had a guest that was planned, and we planned our guests months in advance, and at the last minute she had to cancel. And I called Caroline this morning at 8 o'clock, and I said, I need a favor. And she said, absolutely. So we are so grateful she is granting me this favor, and Donna, and so she's here. And Caroline she's a fellow reframer with me in Hector's Reframe Society. So we get to spend a lot of time together in big think groups. So Carolyn, welcome, and tell us what do you like about Reframe? Why did you join the Reframe Society?
I really liked the alternate thinking, the fact that it's not what everyone else is talking about, because when you're just doing what everyone else does, you're not differentiating yourself in the field. And that's really what it's all about, because I've been calling what I do transformations for a long time. I just didn't realize that was a cool thing.
I know.
So
You're
now,
you on that stage with Ron Baker.
well, my whole logo is a butterfly.
Oh, okay.
It's been that way for years. And, so I always talked about that transformation from, the chrysalis to the butterfly. And I love to watch people bloom and see them fly. That was always what I would say. And I didn't know I was ahead of the game.
Yes.
Same with subscription. I've always worked with subscription,
and
I didn't know that.
Construction and the trades. You do a lot of job costing and all of that, because I know in another group I'm in, she asked, well, how do you do that when you have job costing and everything? But you've done that from the beginning. How did you handle that? How did you go or think from being hourly with all of the detail that you do to flat rate subscription pricing?
In all honesty, this is my second business. This is the second time I'm doing this type of a business. I had a business back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Life changed for me, and I had to close that business down and go back to work. So when I started this one again, and it's really what I had done back there. I never charged hourly because I didn't see that to be beneficial to me. I didn't really care if it was beneficial to them. I cared if it was beneficial to me. So now that's what I did when I started this one up again. I mean, I really wasn't really sure what range I should be in, but then I started to kind of figure it out because I tried to stay away from the trades this time, but they found me anyways.
And she's in Naples. Naples is like one of the highest per capita income cities in the entire country.
It is the highest per capita.
Oh, it is? Oh,
yes.
I mean, it's like Snootsville down there. I mean, we went to dinner there with because we have a house in Marco, and we went to dinner in Naples at Capitol Grill,
Oh
which is
boy.
not it's a fancy place. Well, when you walked out, all their Bentleys and Rolls Royces in the parking lot. That's what they
Absolutely.
drive there. I mean, we're in a Highlander, and we're like the poor people. You know, there's a whole Bentley dealership. It's fun driving around.
Maserati,
Yeah.
Maserati, Lotus, all of those things. They're
Oh, I
all
tell you what, the
over.
garage sales are great because these people get tired. I'm tired of my furniture. I want another color. And they just bought it last month. So you get a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff at garage sales.
And the Goodwills around here, around the area, are just like everything
My
has tags
stepson
on them.
Chris and his wife Bunny, they are VIPs at the Goodwill. You know, we come to the Goodwill in Port Orange, it's like, "Ugh." But down there, oh man, it's like Macy's discount store. You know, it's great. But yeah, so Naples is great. It's it's on the West Coast, and it's right on the on the beach, right below Fort Myers, where the big hurricane hit. Now, did you get hit by the hurricane when that came through?
No, we were fine. We're inland, a little further inland, so we're okay.
Cool, good, because I tell you what, it's scary on the coasts when when hurricane comes. And last year we didn't have one, so that
Yeah,
was
well,
nice.
in 2017 we lost our roof when Hurricane Irma came through. So that was fun.
Yeah,
But
Irma snapped us for our condo in Marco. It blew out all the windows. Oh, yeah, but that's just living in Florida. You know, Donna lives in
absolutely.
California and she has earthquakes.
We have earthquakes and wildfires, and then because of those two, we have floods and mudslides when it rains.
Yeah, we just have hurricane, and we know a hurricane is coming. Well, Don and I were on the phone
Exactly.
one time talking. She goes, "Oh my God, it's a hurricane. I mean, an earthquake."
Earthquake,
I
yeah.
mean, like, we have 2 weeks to prepare. You know,
Exactly.
So, I
Never worry.
personally, when I lived in Florida, did not like the 2 weeks to prepare, the 2 weeks of anxiety to prepare, and then it was nothing. I prefer the 10 seconds that we might get a shake alert of panic, and then it happens, then we calm down afterwards.
I was excited.
Sometimes
but
it
we-
takes me a little bit longer, depending on what the shaker was like and how big it was and how much it affected me. But I calmed down a lot quicker than the 2 weeks of anxiety. I
Yeah.
have to be anxious for an earthquake.
Yeah, those of us that have lived here
2 hours.
long enough, though, if we've lived here long enough, you don't fuss over anything unless it gets to at least Cat 3.
Yeah, yeah.
That
But
no
it's
one
exciting.
panics. No one. The only people who panic are those that have just moved here or have moved here within for a couple of years. Other
But
than
if they
that,
tell you to
those of us that have
evacuate,
lived here,
go.
So
Go.
Yeah.
we moved in June, the year that I think there was 5 or 6 hurricanes.
The year of the four.
Yeah, year of the 4, and there was a huge tropical storms in there too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we moved June of that year.
Well, you missed it.
So
so you came
for
just
the
in
first
time for hurricane
ever,
season.
I saw an actual tornado, a water spout. It rained
Yeah.
more than I'd ever seen in my whole life. So we were all shell shocked.
Right.
We're like, we
You
lost
had a
tree.
traumatizing year.
Yes.
So, Carolyn, I know you have written a book.
Yes, I
She
have.
is an author. So hold up your
have,
book so
yes.
everybody can see it because we all want you to buy it. So tell us financial success principles from vision to impact. And of course, there's the butterfly in a dollar bill. Isn't that clever?
Yep. And it's in each chapter as well.
So tell
Yeah.
us how you
Butterf-
thought about the book and what's its focus and
Well, I was actually approached to ask me if I wanted to write a book. I'm like, I've wanted to write a book for years. So yeah, let's do this. And the book basically is for anyone who is wanting to start a business or scale a business, because what we offer inside the book is actionable steps and that to help them understand all the things they need to do, regardless of where they live in the United States, of course, because that's what we know. So if, if they need to go to their city municipality to have a business, then we mention all of those things, because there's a lot of times business owners have no idea all of the different steps they have to take just to have a business. And, that's regardless of whether they're working from home or in an actual office. So those different things are, there's so many people who were like, oh, I wish I had had this when I first started my business. Well, that's the plan. We want everyone to have it so they can start their business correctly.
I know we had a lady in here this morning who started her business in January, an event planner. And I said, oh, so have you registered for sales tax? Say, what? And how many employees do you have? What?
That's exactly
Good
it.
thing it's January, and this not January of 25. It's January. Okay, we can get you started, and she goes, I don't know. That's why I'm here. Well, she was smart enough to come in, because many of them come in
Right.
a year later, and all of a sudden they've been not charging sales tax. They've been paying people as 10. Well, I thought it'd be cheaper. Yeah, but it's wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
that's a good idea, but nope.
now, how
Nope.
can they? I mean, how do people know though? The problem is, I think people don't know to find where to find your book, to read the instructions. Where can they find your book?
Sure. We are on Amazon, where the book is for sale on Amazon, and we're actually working on the audio book. So
Oh,
hopefully
great.
within the next 6 months or so, an audio book will be created, because that's extremely important, because there's the audible learners and then there's the visual learners.
Yes.
And we're also creating a workbook that goes along with the book itself, because there's a lot of resources that are discussed in each individual chapter. So what we're doing is we're creating the workbook to go hand in hand with the book itself, with the resources that are discussed in each chapter.
So they will find out about like how to set up their company. Like, do you go into entity structures and stuff like that?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
they should pick one over another, or what they do. And now, do you
Right.
talk about
Exactly.
books specifically, or is it just a generic financial accounting book?
Right. No, we don't talk about any kind of accounting software. I figured that we were going to stay completely away from that type of thing,
Smart.
at this point. Yeah, just
Because it
talking
changes
whenever
so
we talk.
quickly right now.
Right. And we talk about, we don't tell someone you need to go see a CPA. You need to see an accountant, someone who knows how to do your books, someone knows how to do your taxes, a tax preparer. We don't talk about, any kind of designation that's required for those things, because there, in all essence, there are many people that don't have a designation, but still do taxes and still do books. So why make themselves pigeonhole them into something where they're only looking for a CPA? It makes
And a
no
CPA, I
sense.
mean, I tell people all the time, a CPA means can't pass again. And and what they can do that non-CPAs cannot is they can do
Right.
audits. So if you want an opinion on your books, a CPA, you have to hire a CPA to do that. And they can
Right.
represent you in front of the IRS without a power of attorney. So, so
And see, I have a CMA. And every
right.
time I say that to someone, they're like, oh, you have a country music awards? No,
So say
no,
yeah, and
Well, maybe.
no.
Larry Underwood.
Trust me, you don't want me to sing.
And because you're right, you don't need a designation, because even CPAs and EAs and as many letters behind their name, they have a different focus. I think I'm not bashing those professions. Please don't hear me out here. Like I know Hal, who works with me, he does the taxes. His focus is different than mine, because he's
Right.
looking at the tax. I'm looking at let's make you a lot of money, so you pay a lot of tax. Because every time I give him the books for a client, he goes, "Do you know how much tax they're going to pay?" I go, "Yeah," because we talked about it all year. Because he always feels like they're going to shoot the messenger. Because he has to tell them they owe a lot of money. I said, "No, that means they made a lot. You have to frame it right," which
Exactly.
is what we learn how to do in Reframe.
Exactly.
I mean, I always think it's funny how accountants tell people, well, I want to make it so you don't pay any tax. And I go, no, no,
It's the
no.
opposite.
That's like the wrong thing to do.
The
Plus,
wrong thing to talk about. I mean, I would say
Yeah,
no,
and
no.
we-
land you in some hot water too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said,
but that's what we discuss in the book also, because the reason that you're making money is to pay taxes. You're going to pay taxes with the more money you make. That's the whole
right,
point. You know
right,
you're successful when, oh my gosh, my tax bill is so high.
right. Because
Yay!
if you make $1 and you have to give away 25% of it, you still keep 75.
Exactly.
And if you're going to spend $1 because then you won't have to pay tax, you have nothing. That makes no sense to me. But that's what a lot of times
Exactly.
they do. So, I'm so happy you do that, because many times, especially bookkeepers, think they need to have the CPA designation to be qualified to be able to talk to people about how to run a business and stuff. No, we're on the ground floor. That's why the thing Bill's sponsoring, the Bookkeeper Appreciation Week, is so good. We really need to elevate, what we do, because we really are the brains of the business owner.
Yeah,
Taxes is
it's
just a
not
required
just
report.
right. It's not just data entry like a lot of people feel that bookkeeping is, and that's
Not
absolutely
math
untrue.
either. I hear,
No.
well, I'm not good at math. I'm like, don't worry, there's no math.
There's no math. It's
Yeah.
logic. As long as
Yeah.
Exactly.
it equals. You don't need to know math. And if you need to know math, there's a thing called a calculator or
Yeah,
Or
Excel.
Yeah.
it's all logic. And I don't know about you, but I know if something's not quite right when I make an entry, I go, I feel off. Something's off balance. I can feel it. So,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
great. So you mentioned that you have other books in the works. What's the next book that you're writing?
Well, as I said, we're working on the workbook to go hand in hand with the book itself. The other books are going to be more focused towards a specific audience, maybe towards women or single mothers or something like that. We're working on the exact focuses that we want to make those books towards, but that's the intent, is to have very specific focuses for the next few books. So it'll be basically takeoffs of the financial success principles, but it will be for either industries or specific audience.
Now I have to be honest with everybody. Carolyn gave me the book in advance to read, so I could kind
Oh,
of give
you
her a little.
got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
the
in fact, my
list-
name's in the forward or something.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow, so you're in it.
I got a
And
print
the
copy
link
to review and said,
is in the
give my
chat.
opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this book is really good. I mean, because she tells a story. It's not boring to read. I mean, you can imagine most accounting books are snoozeville. This is a story. So it's an interesting read. Now, I find boring tax books fun to read, but most people don't. So when I
Thanks.
read it,
I'm not
I'm
sure
like,
how to feel about that.
I know. I probably one time. It would be a really interesting podcast if someone got the tax code and just read it on YouTube.
Now you've given me an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Section blah 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 blah.
I have my tax book sitting back there, Yeah.
But your book is interesting and it's a fun read. It goes fast. It's not like a boring, and it doesn't talk down to you. Which is really great. It doesn't think you're
Well-
stupid. I mean, it
Right.
really, I just think it's really fabulous. Now, did you was it easy to write? Did it kind of like roll off your pen?
Well, honestly, our ghostwriter, who is also one of our co-authors, Maddie, she basically took what I threw on paper, which was the subject of that particular chapter and sections, and I said, because I'm very technical, so I threw in the technical stuff, and she took, the words. She took all three of our voices and she made them into one, and it was such beautiful words coming from her,
She did a
based
great
on,
job.
oh my goodness, based on what we said, which I went, that's gobbledygook that I provided, and you made it into magic. This is wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. Now the book has been out. I know we spoke about it last scaling, and so it's not been
Yeah.
out that long.
No, September 22nd was launch day.
Yeah, and I got a copy too. I got to read it in advance, and I got an autographed copy. So
That's right.
it's really great. So I'm so happy. Now, so Carolyn, when you're not working with the trades, running your bookkeeping practice, writing a book and another book and a workbook, what do you do for fun?
Well, my husband and I like to go fishing. We're in Florida, so fishing is priority.
You have to. It's a requirement.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my husband is he's retired from law enforcement, but he also was working towards becoming a professional bass fisherman. So we do a lot of bass fishing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you're also a big
And he-
fan of something that Donna likes. And I know one of our
Yes.
biggest fans, my friend Cindy, also likes.
Yes.
In fact, after Reframe Conference, Carolyn drove me to Marco because she was going to Naples and she took me to Marco. And she's putting her bags in the car. Every single suitcase, backpack, shopping bag, pocketbook, purse, wallet was a Disney one. Had Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse all over it. I said, do you know my friend Donna and Cindy? I think you get along really great with them. I mean, the keychains coming from everything was a Disney thing. So, and I found out just before the podcast, your mom and dad and Donna's mom and dad were at Disneyland the day it opened.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe they were in line together. Wouldn't that be something?
You
just
never
my
know.
mom. She
Well, my
hasn't
parents.
met my dad. Just my mom.
Oh, just your mom.
She was
Okay.
my
my
pa-
Yeah.
My parents are French, so you would have heard them speaking French. Of course, I'm sure they weren't the only French people there.
So you've always been a Disney fan. Of course, you're not
Yes.
close to the park. How much do you get to go to the park?
Well, my son lives in Orlando, so
Oh,
he's my
okay.
excuse to go anytime I
Cool.
want. I have to see my baby boy.
Yeah. And how old is he?
He's 32.
Yeah. I know my baby boy's 39, so I can relate.
Yes,
I still remember him on my hip, and he moved over.
exactly. I remember the beautiful blonde hair and those big blue eyes staring at me, and now he still has the big blue eyes, but no more blonde hair. So
Yeah.
I know mine has a beard. Like, what's that?
well, when he reached like 6 foot, because he was very small most of his life, he was probably in 5 foot something, and kept complaining that he was, oh, when am I going to grow, Mom? Which happened only after his senior year in high school. Then all of a sudden, I'm like looking at him in his chest. I said, "What's this? I don't like it."
I know mine has 2 kids of his own now.
Oh, yeah, we have. My husband has grandkids, so I have grandkids through his kids, but mine, he's still not ready.
Well, mine didn't have his babies till he was 39, 38. So he's,
Yeah.
so he didn't have them right away. And Donna, we're so happy. Donna's son came back from Europe yesterday.
Mine was in Europe for a month, and I was, to
She was a wreck.
say the least, a bit nervous because
Of course.
yeah,
And how old
text
is he?
somebody while he's there.
He's
so-
over Utah. He's
I
landing.
know.
She
I could
texted me all
track
day
him from the
long.
plane.
I said, okay, you can
'cause
breathe.
he had Wi-Fi, so I'm like, all right, he's over Greenland, he's over Iceland. We lost contact for a while, and then he hit U.S. airspace, and I was like, all right, I feel better now.
So what time did you pick him up at
Yeah.
the airport yesterday?
Well, he took the train from the airport, so we hit the train station. It was awesome because the train, we're at San Juan Capistrano is where the train station is, and it's right next to a winery. We're sitting behind the winery in the parking lot, and a shooting star goes across over the winery, and I'm like, that's a good sign. And then he comes bounding out of the train through the restaurant that was there. And then he's there, and I'm also all happy. And yeah,
Well, that's
and
good.
he has long hair and a beard, and he looked like some homeless guy. So I'm like, who's that guy? Oh my gosh, that's him. and then,
Well,
and then
glad
we were
he's
up
home
late
safe and
last
sound
night.
because she was very worried with all the stuff going on over there. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now he's talking about going back, and I'm like, no, but he has a job that kind of puts him in those areas sometimes. So that wasn't the plan in the beginning, but it was the plan in the middle somehow. And I'm like, well, he's
Well,
back
if you were
now.
at scaling last year, James was at scaling last year. So if you saw us on,
Oh,
he was at,
okay.
Yeah.
he usually he's very quiet, and so
Yeah.
he follows
He did
Donna
our
around, and he talks to
camera
Donna.
work and
Yeah, he talks to Donna in her ear about me. Is she ever
Yeah.
going to stop?
Or the one, my favorite one, Deb just went in the men's restroom. Like, what? Did you get that on film?
I mean, I walked in and I thought, and I said, "There's a guy coming." I said, "Oh, I think I'm in the wrong place." I just turned
But it
around.
took you a while. We were counting, and it was like at least a
I
minute.
do that a lot.
Whoops.
I was in Costco the other day, and I sat down, and I'm like, "There are urinals in here. What are the urinals doing in the ladies' room?" Oh well, too late. I got to stay and finish. I got to finish what I start. So it's fun. It's fun. So, Carolyn, do you have any advice? What's your one big idea that you would share with the audience if you were giving them a big idea about what they can do to succeed?
Oh my gosh. Do not underprice yourself, first of all. Oh my gosh, that is probably the biggest and greatest because I also help other bookkeepers to build their business. I work one on one with several people at a time, and that's probably one of the biggest issues I see is underpricing themselves, undervaluing themselves. Is they say, but I'm just a beginner. So I'm like, well, but how many years of education do you have? How many years of background do you have doing this type of work before you got started? That all counts and that is valuable. So
So, how
because
do
they're
they overcome that
constantly
pricing thing? Because that's an internal stuff. How do you coach
it
people to
is.
do that?
It takes time. It
Yeah.
definitely takes time, but and patience, because I can't tell you, sometimes I've met with people for months and months and they still oh, I just priced it someone at this price. That I go, really? Really? I put my mom face on all the time, really? Okay, we're gonna have a conversation about this because that was naughty.
Well, I think about this girl that was in this morning. She goes, "Well, what does something like this cost?" And I say, "Well, think about it. If you hired somebody at $15 an hour, which is minimum wage, that doesn't know what they're
Right.
doing for 20 hours a week, you'd pay $300 a week, plus taxes, plus blah, blah, blah. So do the math. That's 1,200 a month. I'm a little more. I'm a lot more. But you get somebody oh, okay. So when you frame it like that, they go, oh, you know, so
Exactly.
it's a pricing. That's why that reframe society is so fabulous, because you're around big fingers
Absolutely.
like that. You get to hang out with Hector and Carlos and Marlon and Amanda and Jennifer and Matthew. I mean, it's the best. I just love being in
Yeah,
the
and
reframe
Olga.
society. And yes,
Yeah.
Olga. Yeah, I could. Sorry, Olga. Didn't mean to forget you.
It's all right.
We
I
had
got you.
Olga on, so go watch her episode because she
Yeah,
was
Olga was
really
on the
good.
show, and
Yeah.
Carlos was
Yeah.
on, and was Hector.
Yep.
So and I thought, who could I get today at the last minute? I said, oh, I know. I'm going to call Carolyn. She'll help out. So that's why I
Absolutely.
reached out to my reframe buddy, and here she is. But we want
That's
to
when our
thank you for
time zone
taking the
works
time
good.
today for coming on. So Donna, you want to sign us off?
Sure. Well, thanks everyone for watching today. I know we had a misstep in the beginning, but we appreciate you. And you deserve to feel proud, confident, and seen. So each week we will share real stories and practical insights from bookkeepers serving with strategy and heart. And if you're ready to raise the bar, you're in the right place. And don't forget to sign up for Bookkeeper Appreciation Week. Use the link in our YouTube description. And also we post in the chat that will be up for a couple more minutes. So use that link, sign up, let them know you're watching, and we'd really appreciate it. And we'll be excited to see you next week.
Thanks again, Carolyn. See you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.